So, yeah, there was other stuff. There was something else I was gonna do. I just uploaded a video, but it disappeared from my feed, which often happens, and then usually later it comes up again. But until I see that it's been uploaded, I can't erase my video. And I had other things I thought I might do before I did quote unquote this video. But the they of days would not allow that to happen. Which is to say, technology um, would not allow me to do what I wanted to do. But what's that mean? Well, that's a big old boulder in the stream, so the water goes around it. There's other things I can do right now, so that's what I'm doing. The way I interpret that is what I'm doing now is more important than what I wanted to do. However, there is a hierarchy of wants, just like the idea of the of hierarchical voting. If I can't do what I most wanted to do, one of the things I used to do when I couldn't do what I wanted to do was to have a temper tantrum and do nothing, and to kick and scream and cry and do nothing. But to better syncretize myself, instead of posting the other videos that I wanted to post before I made this video, because technology is not allowing me to do that, to my mind. It was a dictate. There were other signposts of the day that dictated, that also collapsed upon this decision, but anyway. Cousins. Because I was talking about eating meat. This distresses me greatly because this will create mess in my life. I did not want to take this down, but it has to do with what I have to say, so it must come down. Okay. So this is free. All right. Got a couple pieces of tape. Well, maybe it won't be as bad as I thought. See if I can get there. I made this drawing back when I had a month layoff during COVID, between the end of March and the end of April. I had a month layoff. And during that time I had one of the most, not the most, but one of the most, tied for first place. You know, I had a top 5 most intense experiences of my life when I made my first Agnes video. And this has to do with my last video where I was talking about, symmetry, then like the right brain, left brain thing, the asymmetry of the twisted heart, the twists this way, the heart twists, or this way, but like the heart twists more or less up and down. The gut twists more or less in this other plane. So we have this asymmetry in this plane, and we have this asymmetry in this pole. So we have a pole and a plane, much like the Earth. Yet there's this seeming bodily symmetry, most represented in the skeletal structure. The skeletal structure is the most symmetric. The digestive system is the least symmetric. The second least symmetric might be the circulatory system. I don't know much about biology, but I think what I just said is true. Or at least not super on false. The respiratory system more symmetric, but not necessarily symmetric. And down to that fine line. And then that also comes into like heredity, the symmetry of reproduction. And that's what this has to do with. And this picture came about while thinking about, it was a movie that had Daniel Defoe, where he was playing a priest in, I think, Japan. And one of the Japanese characters in the story, because we always think of the sun like the sun, the star that the earth revolves around. We always think of that fatherly, but this young person in the movie mentioned how, because he was a prince, and basically he thought of himself as the moon, as the prince, circling the earth as his father, circling the son of his grandmother. So all of a sudden, that made the symbol of the sun the grandmother, which is a different but symbolically cogent metaphor, and it affected me deeply. Just hearing that brief statement. I forget the name of the movie. I'll have to find it. I used to have the DVD, but I went on a rampage of destroying much of my old stuff at one point when I thought I was going to erase myself, but I only came up to a point. I destroyed all my old yearbooks from like junior high through high school, but I couldn't bring myself to destroy my senior yearbook. What does that say? And I regret it now, because the emotions that led me to do that don't control me in the same way now. But I also respect it, because I only got so much room. So Same thing with the world. Certain art has to be destroyed such that other art can come. It reminds me of when I was younger. We went to well, I grew up in what's it called, like a school district, so like my junior high had three towns that went to it, and my high school had 5 towns that went to it, and the other 2 towns, each of those other 2 towns were probably bigger than the combination of the 3 towns. Like my junior high was smaller. There were 3 junior highs that went to the high school. My junior high was smaller than either one of the other junior highs. And the other junior highs were only from 1 town. But it was 5 towns total that went to the high school. Fuck. Anyway. It has to do with, asymmetries. So this body looks symmetric, but it's not. And there are bodies, like most bodies have a digestive system